Ayn Rand defined rationalism as deduction without reference to reality. So, beautiful. So we start with the principle that, whites are oppressors and blacks are the oppressed. Certainly that was true in the past. Do we bother to look at reality in any serious way to see the change? No. You have the white oppressor and the black oppressed. And notice, by the way, something that's really scary here is that the Marxists in the US have added to their class war mentality, the rich versus the poor. Marxists were not racist. That's the National Socialist left, right? It's the National Socialist version of socialism. The Marxists were fighting class war, not race war. But notice that they've added a National Socialist element. Now it's not just the oppressor versus the oppressed, but it's the rich oppressing, victimizing the poor. It's the rich whites who are victimizing the poor non-whites or the poor blacks. So, but notice the rationalism here. We start with that principle. That the rich white guys are oppressing the poor blacks. And we don't consider the evidence, the actual observation-based evidence that refutes that. And then we just churn out our conclusions. So if that's the case, then there has to be all of this oppression of blacks and by whites. George Floyd instance is horrifying. Certainly an example of police brutality. May or may not be racist. Chauvin may have done that to a white criminal too. I mean, cops in the United States have been are guilty of that. But anyway, it has to be interpreted in that way. Even if Chauvin had done this to white guys in the past, it would still be interpreted as motivated by racism, because the principle that we start out with requires it. So you have a great deal of rationalism at work here, methodologically, and it's a militant rationalism. You bring up the empirical data to show that white racism has dwindled dramatically. There's still a few leftists who'll reason with you, but most of them are going to yell and scream and call you names and verbally abuse you. They don't want. They're clinging to this principle on emotional grounds, not on evidential grounds. And if you give evidence that clashes with it, it's going to trigger them.